Howdy, folks.
That good-looking fellow up there is Fred Shell. He's the chief designer, builder, janitor, video editor, and everything here at Shell Boats. And he's also the narrator of this. So what the idea here is to show you what we do to prepare a kit for shipping to a customer, which I'm not showing you here. This is after I've spent several days preparing this kit. And what I've done is put it all together with usually about a third of the necessary screws and of course no glue. And then it comes to this part of taking it all apart. Now this is all a test fit. Each piece is test fitted very much the way I build a finished boat. In a finished boat, sometimes I'll just do one stage of it, like I'll test fit the planking first, and then I'll take it apart and put it together with the glue, and then go on to another stage. But I've also gone almost all the way through the boat and put the whole thing together, dry fit, like this. The thing that it does for you is it gives you an easy time when you've got the glue on things. You don't want to have to trim anything once you've put glue on it and you're ready to put it into place. It goes together very fast after doing a test fit like this. So that's the basic concept behind the kits. Every one of the 900 plus kits that I've sent out of this shop have been done just like this. Now he's taking the, right now taking the combing pieces off, and you might have noticed they're taking a little bit of time to mark. Some of the pieces I mark as I'm putting the kit up test fit together, and some of them I'll mark as I'm taking it apart like this. While it's together, I also draw a pencil line at all the junctures of all the parts. Where there's a corner of two pieces meeting, I'll just put a pencil on the edge there so that you can see the exact location it's going to go when you put it back together. I actually videoed this entire process of this assembly, but I'm going to cut out a few sections here that, just because it could get boring. You wouldn't want that to happen. Now those combings all are off. There's 4 pieces, 2 front and 2 rear. They just butt against each other. I'm going to go around and take off this thing, deck strip, which covers and reinforces the seam down the middle of the deck. This is a piece of, well, all these decks and planking and deck strip are plywood, marine grade plywood, of course. Strength with minimum weight. What I'm doing right now is I'm marking right here where this deck strip goes, and there's a little code that I use for the whole building process now. Each piece that I take off, I mark in a covered place, something that if you're going to varnish you won't see this and you don't have to erase it. But I mark it in black pencil. I'm going to walk over here and show you up close. So this deck strip, I've got it upside down, laying there. Now this is the joint between the front deck right and the front deck left. The front deck and the left deck are written in black pencil, as is the deck strip. And you might have noticed that in red pen it said deck strip. Now that was means that that's the location where that part goes. Now I'll be taking the decks off. They're attached with screws through the plywood planking into the edge of the deck. The decks in this model are 1/2-inch marine plywood. So these are fairly small screws, and they're primarily there to hold it together while the glue dries, but they stay in. And there are a couple of longer screws like at the ends and stuff, but that's basically the idea here. See, there's the, in this boat there's a bigger front piece and then a long skinny rear piece of deck. And I'm labeling it just like I'm supposed to. I don't forget very often. Once we get that marked, now I'm marking on the edge of the planking right up there where this is going to be put. And while it was there, I did that thing where I, drew a pencil line in the corner, so you'll see that down from the top of the plank on the inside, about a 1/2 inch down, you'll see a pencil line that goes all along. And between that pencil line and the top edge, you'll see it marked in red. In this case, it would be rear deck right side of the boat being the starboard, or what looks like right when you're standing at the transom looking forward. So we might have to skip a little bit here because it's a little bit slow. Now we'll get those front decks off. They're good sized chunks. You got to make sure you take all the screws out first. Like maybe I forgot one. Yes, there it is. So that's the front deck left. Just rolled it over on top of the other one. And I can just take the two of them, and I'm going to mark. There's an under support there, a front deck support I call it, and I'm marking on that in red. Front deck right and front deck left. Let there be no confusion. So these go over on the stack of all the pieces that are going to go in the crate. And now there's this little bit of structure there in the front that has to be taken out. Front deck support and then a bulkhead that's in there. You might want to skip over some of this. Hey, here we come to the exciting part. Well, I think it's exciting because it's more exciting. The exciting part when you're putting it together too. This is the planks. There's a wire tie in the front holding the leading the front of each plank, each pair of planks together. And when you build it, there'll actually be two ties, one near the top and one near the bottom of each plank. For the pre-assembly, I just did the top one. So I took that wire tie off, and now I went around and I took screws out of where it's attached to the transom. It's attached to the transom with 1-inch screws typically in this boat. And now I'm reaching in, and there's a 1/2-inch screw that in the final building is about every 6 inches. Got one about every 18 inches, about roughly a third of the length. So that's why it's coming off pretty fast. I usually take it off halfway like that, where it'll support itself, and then start at the other end. this is basically how you put the planks back on. But that's detailed in the instructions for each boat too. You don't want to get into the particulars too much here. But, now this plank, while it was together, this is kind of important because right at the joint there where the planks overlap, you can see it's like a piece of spaghetti there, but it's quite strong, 1/4 inch. And that's a scarf joint right in the middle there that I've made here in the shop. So there are pencil line marked where that overlap is, and you'll see that. And when you're gluing it together, you put glue on up to that pencil line, put it in place, and you know, find where the screw holes are, and you'll have it exactly right. At least as exact as I got it. You're starting to see now the internal, the seats and the daggerboard trunk in there. So both of the top planks are off. Now I'm going to just pull out these seat panels. These aren't screwed down. They're actually, in this model, they're put down with bronze boat nails or stainless steel boat nails. So I'm writing on the bottom of it the name and orientation of it. Some of the pieces, there's an arrow pointing forward. I think I showed you that. There are some of the pieces will have an arrow point, 2 arrows, and that's where there's the other one is giving the direction up. So you see two. If you see just one, then you know which way to go forward. And sometimes I'll say on there top face or bottom face if necessary for clarity, but where it's not practical to have an up arrow. Like on a piece like the transom, you'll see there's going to be an arrow pointing forward, another one pointing up, and hopefully you'll be able to figure out which is which. And we put those on the pile. And then we'll get the rest of these planks off. So now the last plank is coming off. All 6 of them are basically the same procedure. Now you can get down to see the seat support structure, daggerboard trunk. These are the seat support structure and daggerboard trunk are made from a locally milled pine. This is the part of my boats that at least gets to be from Vermont trees. So these are the same story. There's marks on when the bottom is clear again, you'll see, you probably won't see, but there's a bunch of marks on it, and they all indicate a position for where something goes. And your job in this project is to sort through the box and find the piece that matches the writing on the bottom. Set it all up. So you set up this whole thing, the seat supports, the daggerboard trunk, and the transom before you start planking. All this is laid out in the building steps. You don't really need a video or anything to follow it if you read the instructions and just do one thing after the other. And that's it. There are some pieces here now, like the daggerboard trunk and transom, that are assembled in the kit. And I don't take them apart. You'll take them when you come across something in the kit that's assembled already. You have to take it apart and put it back together with glue. Here's that transom piece. As you can see, it's put together out of 3 pieces for this boat. And again, it's put together with screws, and we'll take it apart, put it back together with glue. And there's the few other remaining pieces on the boat. That's it. I'll put it in a box and ship it off to you.